Skylar Verloop, and this is my video reflection on a lesson that showed instructional technology integration. This lesson I'm showing you I used in my U.S. Virginia history class. This is also an ESOL class, so my students are anywhere from level 1 to 3 ESOL students, and majority of my students are juniors. When students come into the classroom, they opened up a Google Doc, which is hyperlinked, and the first part that they do, they answer a question that I have that simply asks the students what grade they should receive on the last test. The options were everyone should get a B- or people should get the grade they got on the test, such as they got an A, they get an A. Students responded, and then we had a whole class discussion. Based off the results, we talked about why they are fair or maybe why some of these are not fair. This lesson did have differentiation because I assigned certain readings to 10 students, whereas there was another reading assigned to 11 students. And my level 1 and 2 ESOL students, I assigned a communism reading, and my level 3 students, I assigned a reading on democracy. Students, though, didn't know they had different readings when they did this, but they read the article, they answered questions on a Google form, which they were able to get immediate feedback when they submitted it, and I was able to check for understanding and then able to have discussions with students about questions they got wrong. Part 3, when they open up this hyperlink, they received a Wiser Me, and this Wiser Me, they have to compare and contrast democratic countries and communist countries. So they would simply find out, oh, people get paid different amounts. That would be a democratic country, Soviet Union, that was communist, but only some students had an article on communism. Other students read an article about democratic countries. So they had to work together to find out the answers about what was democratic and what was communist. When students were finished with this, they would then create a poster. And once again, this was on Google Classroom. I was able to differentiate. I assigned students into different groups, and they all worked on posters. Some made posters on democracy, some made posters on communism. But since this was on Classroom, as the students are working, I'm able to easily go onto their posters and see what they're working on. And this is an example of communism. This was an example of a democratic poster. And it came out really well. Students really had a lot of dialogue as they created this. They're able to find pictures online, and they're able to share this with each other. For the summer model, this would be under modification because it did have significant redesign. Everything was hyperlinked. It was differentiated for students. A lot of students didn't know they were doing something different, and they were all able to work at this at the same time, in particular the poster. So that's why this would be modification on the summer model.